Alice Stewart Show is on the air and on your radio right now. Here's more from Alice on 96.5 The Voice.
You gotta live and learn. You gotta crash and burn.
Welcome back to the Alice Stewart Show, 7:19 on a football Friday. Hope everyone is kicking off your weekend on a great note. Let me just tell you this. This is a disturbing number, and I find it quite surprising. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 1.8 million high school and middle school students have tried e-cigarettes in last year. The U.S. Surgeon General has stated that nicotine is highly addictive and has immediate biochemical effects in the brain. I'm shocked that so many kids have tried these e-cigarettes. I've not paid attention to them and their effects quite so much, but I am glad to see that a group of attorneys generals from across the country have stepped in and taken action on this. And this is a bipartisan group of attorneys general have banded together to call for the Food and Drug Administration to tighten rules on e-cigarettes. And I'm glad to be joined with Chief Deputy Attorney General Brad Phelps from Dustin McDaniel's office. Brad, great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Well, what Dustin McDaniel did this week is hats off, because it's so important. This is a bipartisan group of attorneys generals from 40 states. What they did is they wrote a letter to the Food and Drug Administration asking them to tighten rules on e-cigs, and this was put together in part by, I want to play a clip from the Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine.
When you have 40 attorney generals agreeing on something, Democrat and Republican, across this country, it tells you that there is, in fact, a problem. And I certainly would hope that the FDA would pay attention.
Brad, tell me why the Attorney General Dustin McDaniel got involved in this. It's so important, but what was his? Why did he want to certainly sign on with this?
Well, I think primarily because General McDaniel, as part of his job as Attorney General, and the fact he was the former national co-chair of tobacco, has recognized in the last few years the public health problems caused by tobacco products. E-cigarettes are a fast-growing product being sold in the marketplace. 1 in 10 high school seniors reports having tried an e-cigarette. And since the late 90s, when state attorneys general pursued lawsuits against big tobacco companies and entered the master settlement agreement, the country has made significant gains in reducing youth smoking and reducing smoking overall. And we saw this effort as a way to continue that growth. We don't want to go back on the gains we've made against youth smoking and adult smoking. And we think these comments were an effort to continue those strides.
Absolutely. And working together like you have from all the AGs across the country, hoping to send a message to the FDA. What do you hope to come out of this, and what do you hope that the FDA does do?
Well, we hope the FDA adopts stringent regulations regulating e-cigarettes, banning these flavored e-cigarettes, which studies show, certainly when applied to normal cigarettes, appeal to youth. We hope that by the end of next month we'll see very strong rules issued by the FDA. And then the states, of course, can supplement those efforts. You know, the state of Arkansas during the past legislative session banned the sale of e-cigarettes to people 18 and under. So we hope that we'll see strong federal action and then, some follow-on state proceedings in certain areas too.
And when you hear about this, I've seen them occasionally on different programs, but what these are, they're becoming more and more popular, as you said, amongst youth and adults, and the sales double every year since 2008. What they are, they're battery-operated products that heat liquid nicotine that comes from tobacco plants into a vapor that's inhaled by the user. Unlike traditional tobacco products, there's no federal age restrictions to prevent children from obtaining cigarettes, and that's the disturbing part. They, as you say, they're marketed and produced in a way that's attractive to kids. But here we are. Basically, we're making smoking legal for kids of all ages, and hopefully, what the attorneys general are doing will put an end to that. Is that correct?
I think you're right, and I would just simply reiterate again that we've made tremendous strides in addressing youth and adult smoking. We're not there yet. We've made a lot of progress, but we see e-cigarettes as being a threat to that progress, and we do not want to go back on the public health gains that we've made in this area.
Well, and this is what this is one of the key aspects, and you mentioned earlier what the Attorney General Dustin McDaniel, one of his key focuses is protecting children and families in the state of Arkansas. And this is an effort to protect children or teens or young adults from getting addicted to nicotine. And you've joined on this letter with 39 other AGs across the country. And when do you expect to hear something back? And what's the next step for those who signed on this letter?
Well, we hope to hear something back from the FDA by the end of October. I expect that there will be follow-on communications with the FDA. We'll just have to see. And when the FDA does promulgate proposed rules, I'm sure there will be an opportunity for attorneys general to weigh in. And General McDaniel has a lot of experience in tobacco matters, and I expect we're going to take a very close look at these rules and comment on the parts that we like and criticize the parts that we may not like. But we think we're at an early step right now that we're hopeful the FDA will take this initial step.
And oftentimes things like this, joining together, it's a eye-opener, I think, for many folks. People aren't aware of the magnitude of this problem. Since this has gotten out there, have you received feedback from parents across the state? What are they saying?
The feedback we've gotten is positive. I think you're exactly right as far as the magnitude of attorneys general and their comments. You know, this is an issue that Republicans and Democrats both take a strong interest in: public health, protecting children, and quite frankly, putting close regulations on products that are known to cause harm. But the feedback we've gotten is positive. You know, as I mentioned earlier, there's been some state legislative action on e-cigarettes, and we're going to maintain a strong posture with this product.
Right, and I mentioned the state legislators. They did in Act 1451. It prohibits the sale of e-cigarettes to minors in the state, but there's no such federal prohibition, and hopefully with the AGs banding together, there will be federal prohibition in that area. Is that the goal?
Yes, that's another goal to get that federal protection. It's also, as the letter mentioned, tighten up regulations as far as youth being able to acquire this product. It's very easy to order this product online from websites that make no effort at all at any sort of age verification. So, again, we're at the early stages, but we feel good about where we are.
All right. Well, very important. I appreciate your time this morning. Brad Phelps, the Chief Deputy Attorney General there with Dustin McDaniel's office. Brad, thank you so much for your time, and hope to follow up on this, and hopefully we get some more regulations in this area. It's so important. Brad, thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Really appreciate it.
All right. Have a great day. This is something that's so important. A lot of folks aren't aware. These things look so innocent, and they package them to where kids think it's cool to do this, but it's dangerous. And this could, Jessica, they talk about the dangers of this, but this is something that would lead kids to become addicted to nicotine. And it needs to be regulated. It needs to be more warnings.
Absolutely. I didn't realize that they're available to kids of all ages.
Yeah, and as Brad said, you can order them online. And that's, as a parent, or for parents out there, it would be concerning, knowing that, as the numbers show from the CDC, nearly almost 2 million middle and high school students have tried e-cigarettes, and that's disturbing. And it's attention should be drawn to it. And as they've said, as Brad said, and DeWine from Ohio said, anytime you can get 40 AGs together and agree on something, a bipartisan group, that's something worthy of attention.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Armchair Quarterback with Harvey Joe Sander and Lori Lee. I want folks to listen to this. This is we're going to play this coming up. It is a very basic question to the White House press secretary. Is he going to sign up for Obamacare? Is he going to avail himself of this wonderful program? Well, we'll hear his answer coming up in Armchair Quarterback right after this.